It's National Wear Red Day, and this is a movement to raise awareness about cardiovascular disease in women and really urge them to take control of their heart health.
Yeah, the morning show doing our part. That includes Kristen Allen, who's joining us here in studio this morning. Kristen, you spoke with a doctor from Prevea Health who's breaking down some of the myths about heart disease.
Good morning. That's right. There are a lot of myths surrounding women and heart disease, but the reality is that nearly half of all women have some form of cardiovascular disease that includes heart disease and stroke. It's a number that's only expected to grow. So it's not just a man's problem, which is what some people think. It's the leading cause of death for women, claiming more lives each year than from all forms of cancer combined. But despite that, most heart health clinical studies have not included women or analyzed women-specific data. The American Heart Association's Research Goes Red initiative calls on women across the country to contribute to health research. They can do that through surveys and studies and testing new technology to help improve disease management and health care. Another big myth is that heart attack symptoms are always easy to spot, but that's not always the case.
Many people don't have obvious warning signs before a heart attack, for instance, or other heart problems. Some symptoms can be really mild and mistaken sometimes for indigestion or just fatigue. So some of the symptoms that women may experience are unusual fatigue, shortness of breath, nausea, jaw or back pain, even arm pain as well.
And so, of course, as we've said, you're encouraged to wear red today as well. And you can share on social media. You can also use hashtags that say things like hashtag wear red, give heart month, and go red for women. Emerson?